guest leads AI programs on product Google Maps and just walked through Google I/O through some of the work on the stage. What actually separates teams that slips AI from teams that's demoing it and mentors 100 plus AI founders through startup? Anjali, welcome to the Agentic AI Execution.
Your path leading AI programs at Google Maps. What does agentic intelligence teach you about delivering products to billions of scale?
Delivering product to one person. There is a very teeny tiny difference in both of these, right? One is that you have to understand your system's limitations, architecture, understand how the data is actually flowing within the system. So all of these things matter when you are doing anything at a scale, when you are working with a complex system. But product, right? Whether it is one user or a million or a zillion does not matter, because you want to give same experience to every single user that uses the product. So the way I would think of it is that the system should be available to support many users, but the product thinking would remain still in the same niche way, the way it used to be.
AI. How our product thinking is evolving with AI.
Product thinking is evolving in many different ways. One, that you have so much data to understand, like, what are the different areas that people are tapping into, where people want to see, what they want to see, what they want to do in their lives. And, with this product, what kind of value you can add. So that data earlier was harder to capture. Now with LLMs, with all the new features of AI and the data connection, it's very easy to understand what your user wants to see for that particular product. So as long as you are able to analyze the data correctly and make sense out of it, you already know what you are building at that point of time. Now you have to only think about how your system is going to work in order to support this initiative that you are trying to build. And then once you define that with the right architectures, with right tech leads in the team, and fortunately in Google, everyone is amazing. So our tech leads are so smart in so many different ways. They can think of scalability more than just building it. So, we can rely on those right leaders that we have in the Google and, in the industry itself. Um, so, once you have what, once you have how, and once you know why, if you can connect all these three dots, the triangle is complete. And then, your product will be successful regardless.
I love how you frame like connecting those dots. And you also mentioned about working with the right leaders. How do you bring alignment when you are working with smart people? You have posted recently that human alignment is the new bottleneck and judgment. I'm curious, how do you bring alignment in your role?
This is a very good question, because this is a real challenge. I face it every day at work. Even in normal life, you face these types of challenges because every head thinks different, number one. Number two, earlier, the leaders did not have to make so many decisions just in one day or in 1 hour. Now, because of AI, the data is flowing very fast. Right, the analyzation is not taking so long versus it used to take a long time. Like, certain things used to take a week, now it takes like an hour or even less than an hour. So there is a huge difference. But we as humans have not evolved to that speed yet. It'll take time for us to get to that, right? Every 2 to 3 weeks, they would make like 5 or 6 decisions. Now it's in a day, 20 decisions. Think about it. Like the flow has changed completely. So that is something that, we need to be able to justify. Or also, another thing that can happen to solve this is a real problem, and we see it every day, and every other company is experiencing this issue. To solve it is that, have more subject matter experts who can actually build the leadership in such a way where, one leader is not making a decision, but there are SMEs in each area, each vertical or each horizontal area, that okay, maybe two people can make decision instead of five, or maybe just one person can make a decision if it is this level of decision, or if it is this level, depending upon what you need to identify or what type of approval is needed. The decision or hierarchy can change from only main leaders or the directors or the VPs to the subject matter experts, and that can be one solution.
Embedding SMEs to help with making those decisions and giving them, empowering them so that they can make those decisions are the places where humans in the loop are still valuable. But I'm curious, in your role, when you see agents doing a lot of automations and helping with some of those manual work we were doing in past, like say reporting, where do you see automation taking more precedence over human in the loop?
So the automation right now, so I'll give you a very good example for this particular area, because I some experience this day in day out. So report creation, okay, AI can create a report for you with the data that AI has. You can give access to your emails, you can give access to your calendar, you can give access to your meeting notes, you can give access to all the GitHub code or whatever code base you are using, whatever you are using basically, right? So you give access to all these different elements, you give access to your database, you give access to everything. Now AI is going to analyze everything. Now, in the last week, AI analyzed, you developed one feature. Every week you have to send a report. So last week there was a report generated that these are the 5 risks that I see by AI. And these are the highlights, key highlights of the week, and key lowlights of the week. And what are the next steps basically, right? As a leader, you want to have a report like this. So now you prepare that report last week. Now this week, from that part to this part, there has not been much change, okay, in the development cycle or in the meeting notes or in the email thread. But in the meeting conversations, certain decisions were made. Now, if human is not in the loop at that point of time, then the report will be just exactly same as last week by AI.
True.
Because you cannot develop at that velocity. Like, if you're building a big feature, there won't be many changes on a weekly basis. Maybe you'll have some minor pushes from the developers, but those pushes are not going to create a feature. Those are to build build the base of the feature, right? So now, what are the different risks, or what is the mitigation plan, and what is the highlight, and so on and so forth, right? So I have observed this thing being at Google, using the latest and greatest AI and the technology, but human in the loop is still as important as it was some years ago, or even yesterday, or before AI came in. Um, because AI is a database. You give input, you get output. Human is a thinker. AI is not a thinker for you. So, the thinking part still has to happen by human. The review of the reports that is generated by AI has to happen by a human. And it has to happen when you are dealing with a product which is being used by billions of users. So, human in a loop is still necessary. I would say mandatory. At this point of time, it is still mandatory.
And how do you see our TPM role evolving uh, with that human in the loop, where things are being automated by agents and TPM? Are you seeing them being changed to AI builder or forward deployed engineer? How do you see is TPM role going to exist next year?
The way I look at it is that if I were to zoom out of TPM, right, as an entrepreneur or a business person, a leader in the industry, the way I look at it is that one individual can do multiple jobs. Now, be it a TPM, A TPM can make product decisions without having a product manager. Having AI, if you can use AI optimally and smartly, then you can make the product decision. Creating a roadmap is not so hard anymore because AI can do that work for you. But thinking behind it, right? If you are a well thought leader and you have subject matter expertise in any of the areas, then basically you can eliminate certain roles. For example, PM, TPM, engineering manager, uh, even up to certain level, tech lead manager. All these roles can just merge into one role eventually. So that is how I see AI evolving this type of role. Again, like, and one another important thing is that all these roles are important at their own levels. It's not that one role is more important than the other role, than the third role or the fourth role. All of these are equally important. But because of AI, one person, one individual can play all these roles simultaneously. That is how I see AI evolving these types of roles.
Very well said. If the TPM can start wearing more product head and think around the product dimension, then definitely a TPM can fill those gaps and help execute end to end even more better with AI presence. I'll just switch gears a little bit and talk about how do PM or TPM in this era of agentic AI stay more relevant? What should be they learning or doing in their day-to-day role to feel that they are not left behind with the AI?
That's a great question. And we are facing this challenge and we are continuously cultivating it in people's mindset. The way I think of PM or TPM role is as a CEO, right, who has to get everybody together, foresee what can come in the way as a roadblock or challenge, and then think on how to overcome it as a role itself, right? Now, how that role is evolving. So earlier, because of not having enough data points, the risks, we were not able to identify risks early enough. And due to those reasons, unknown issues used to come more often. Now, with the data, with lot of knowledge around everything, available knowledge, this can make a TPM a lot more proactive versus reactive, which can change the game eventually. So, what kind of roadblocks can come from the past experiences, whatever you know. But what you don't know is what AI is there to help you with, right? So then there are less unknowns. I mean, there will be unknowns again, but there are less unknowns than what it used to be. So if a TPM becomes more proactive, then the results and the timelines can shift left. For example, you were to deliver something by, you know, within 3 months. It can be possible if everything is done right, then you can deliver it in 1.5 months. And that is the real shift of the gear. So, how do you anticipate the risks and how you work on it? That can help TPM drive things faster, better, and a little more proactively.
Shifting left and bringing problems early with I think that's a great insights. I'll definitely use in my role going forward. Try to use AI to predict more. How do TPMs stay more relevant? Or what new skills they should be learning to crack the next Google TPM role or Google AI Builder role?
So again, right, this would be the same thing. So knowing what you are doing helps so much. The other thing that I mentioned earlier, have your leadership skills add value to any organization, is something that now thinking has to be faster than AI. I would think as a human, you need to be, earlier you were only competing with humans. Okay, now you are competing with humans with AI. That's the real difference when you are going for job hunting and all. Now, being relevant to the industry, always one thing that if everybody is doing something and you are doing the same thing, you are not really changing anything, right? But if everybody is doing something and you are doing something plus one, that's going to add value. And now that plus one can be plus 0.12, right? It doesn't need to be always plus one, doesn't need to be always plus n, plus whatever it is. But thinking pattern should be that way where AI cannot replace you as a human. So people, if you as an individual think that you are adding value by going into this meeting, by being there, by talking to this person, then you're good. But you have, as an individual, you need to know if you're not adding value, then start adding value because that is needed. If you're doing only monotonous job, then AI will take it. But if you're adding value, no one can replace you.
And as a people leader, how do you make sure that the people are growing?
Have some AI analytics done towards your people where the data points that you can grow into. And also nowadays, the role specific things are happening. So think of it like you are a TPM and you want to become a PM. The line between PM and TPM is not so big. It's a thin line. Okay. All you need to do is learn certain skills in order to be a successful PM from a TPM. Now, in most organizations right now, those transitions are not always available. But with AI and with certain tools, this is very much possible in this current scenario. An admin can become a PM, and a UX designer can become a PM. A PM can become a TPM, and much more, and like CTO and CEO and whatnot. So it's all that journey, how to navigate from one step to another step can help you having some support systems. And with AI now, I don't think even development is something that we used to go to school and study. I also have my master's in computer science and whatnot. Don't really need any of those things anymore. You can just do it with AI. So, gears are changing and world is shifting.
Totally. And how do you personally sharpen the saw? How are you using AI to keep up leveling some of the your own skills you are using?
So that's a great question. I first started with Gemini when I was, trying to hash out myself into AI. And then when I was working with Gemini, I was not so satisfied. We have another tool in built-in NotebookLM. I switched to that. I learned something. It's good, but not great. So then I moved to, it's good for certain use case. Then you learn what are your use cases. One fine day I was working with ChatGPT, Gemini, Notebook LLM. None of these things helped me. I wanted to really create a deck. Nobody had this capability. I'm talking about probably a year ago from now, backwards. So that time I came across Claude, and I came across some other tools. I tried to slides.io or something. I tried to create some decks with it because some executive decks requires to be in certain way, and you have to have some good graphical representation and whatnot. So I tried, and finally I was not so successful with the tools and all. But I guess 6 months ago or so, Claude did amazing breakthrough. It can create an super amazing deck for you with the right prompts. And now, with Claude, even Google came up with anti-gravity. And now anti-gravity does the same job. So I compare between Claude and anti-gravity and some different tools, and Gemma, there is another model, LLM models. So I've been trying quite a few things since the AI came in. But every use case requires expertise into prompting, and every use case requires expertise into certain tooling. So, continuously knowing what is coming out in the market is something that I always keep up with. Otherwise, I think that I will be behind otherwise because the world is shifting so quickly. But yeah, that's my fundamental area. Like, continuously know what is coming out, how to use it, then what type of prompting is required, and then what is your use case, whether it is fitting the need or not.
One prediction, what will agent own in maps in 2 years from the products?
Agents will own everything pretty much. But who will run the agents? We will run the agents. So how you build the agent is important, but agents will own it. So, don't want to take that ownership anymore. I want to just direct the agents. If there is somebody to do your job, why do you want to do that job? You do something else, right? So I am looking forward to that time, and I'm already building my agents to do certain activities, certain tasks, certain meeting invites, certain updates, and so on and so forth. And I really hope that these agents become my clone at one point of time. So I can do more and more and more things that I want to do in my life versus just sticking to this thing and optimize these agents according to the need of the business. So, yeah, that's how I would roll with it.
That's such an optimistic view. I love to be in that era where agents are doing everything and so perfectly, where I can rely onto it without hallucinations and feel that yes, it's the right output and it's coming from the agent as well.
Agents are learning. They're not there yet, but they learn. I think they have done a fabulous job in last. So I started creating my agents in last, I think 6 to 8 months. The result that I used to get 6 months ago versus what I get today, significant difference. Positive. Once in a while there will be major glitch, but in most cases I'm pretty satisfied in terms of the work that they do. So I think that's gonna continue to evolve. I don't have to go look at all my emails because I have agents who will review my emails and tell me what is the most important email that I need to look at today. Every morning it'll run it and then, give me that output. I don't go and check my 100 pings every day. My agent goes and checks all my pings and tells me which ping is something that I have to really react to immediately, and then I only act upon it. So I guess those are really productivity improvement things that I see and I observe and I am utilizing effectively. And if we know how to use them, then it's a biggest blessing. But if we don't know how to utilize the technology, then it can be a curse. So for us, it's just super critical and important as humans to learn how to utilize what we have and fast enough so that we can still stick to the market in the way we are right now.
Wonderful. Is there anything we haven't covered yet on the things you think is important to cover? Maybe you want to tell our listeners.
Don't be afraid of AI. Don't think that AI is going to take away your job because no one can take your job but you.
Anjali, thank you so much for joining today. I'll remember that line. Folks, you can find Anjali on LinkedIn. I'll drop the link in the show notes. If you got value from this, follow Agentic AI Execution for more conversations. Until next time, keep building, stay curious, and bring someone along for the ride.